Maybe you've never heard of or seen idols, but somebody sent you this video so that you could learn more. Maybe you've seen some idols come across your feed and are curious about the community. Maybe you're really into K-pop idols and are wanting to make the jump to learn more about J-pop. Or you've heard that all these idols are terrible and cringe and you're here to hate watch. Either way, hi, my name is Alex. I'm an idol performer and longtime idol fan. Welcome to 2025. I am here, I am blonde, and I'm ready to have some fun. Now, as always, this video is my personal perspective on the idol community outside of Japan, but more specifically within the United States, since that's where I live and do my own idol activities. I'm not an authority or a gatekeeper. I don't think anybody has the right to be those things. This is just my point of view. There's a growing and developing community of indie performers who sing and dance in a style that may feel a little bit foreign to the Western world, so it bears a little bit of an explanation. A few years ago, I made a video called What Are Overseas Idols and Why Should You Care? I think is the title of that video, and I felt it was time for an update. In the context of my videos, my community, and my discussions, I use the term idol to describe music artists who are specifically inspired by Japanese idol culture, but we'll get into what that means. It is quite different than other music industries, even across Asia or across the world. But to be clear, I'm by no means excluding people who are inspired by other types of pop music, whether Korean, Chinese, or other types of Asian pop culture. There is some sort of overlap there. It's not specifically what I do, but if everybody did what I did, the world would be very boring. So think of these terms and labels not as limiters, but just descriptors of certain types of culture. For the sake of ease in discussion though, kaigai, as it is a Japanese term, is used to describe music artists who are specifically reflecting Japanese idol styles of performing. But what does that mean? Here's some of the things that I find in Japanese idol styles of performing that make it unique and distinct. The spirit of not perfection in vocal or dance, but growth over time. The endearment of being an amateur. And by that I mean, it's quite endearing to be a beginner at something and still put yourself out there. There's a sense of bravery that comes with that, and I think that that's very admirable among Japanese idols. Dancing while singing. Flashy stage outfits, often inspired by Japanese fashion, whether it's subculture or trendy mainstream fashion. Music inspired by or reflective of some sort of Japanese music production, J-pop, J-rock, visual kei, etc., etc. A general sense of positivity displayed either within the music itself or on stage, at meet and greets, and MCs on social media. And of course, wota culture, pen lights, Colin mix, chiki, oshikatsu, all that good stuff. Hi, Editing Alex here, and something that I didn't really touch upon, but I want to make sure is clear, is that idols, especially in Japan, are typically marketed for their visuals, personality, and stage presence before even their skills in singing or dancing, and I think this separates them from other types of music artists. Okay, sorry, I'm sick. Okay, bye! To me, all idols meet some of these points. Obviously, they don't all meet all of them, and in fact, most of them don't meet all of them. But these are things that I find specifically in idol culture that make it different from other types of performance. Does this mean you have to have a flashy outfit to be an idol? Does this mean you have to sell Polaroids to be an idol? Does this mean you can't be an idol who only sings ballads or only does dance covers? No. Obviously. There are many wonderfully diverse and unique ways to be an idol. It's worth noting that there are people within the community too who do all of these things and even perform at idol events but don't want to call themselves an idol. They would rather use the term music artist, and everybody has their own reasons for that. It's a self-identifier. If you're just learning about this community and this type of performance, you may or may not have seen that there are some people on the internet who have some opinions about, oh, you can't be an idol if you're not fill in the blank here. Japanese, cute, a girl, skinny, etc. I personally am not interested in having a pedantic discussion about who and cannot be an idol. If I'm honest, it's not fun for me to do that, and I don't think it's that deep. There are lines, obviously, as there always have to be when you're defining community, but it doesn't hurt me if Shirley wants to call herself an idol after uploading one badly lit Instagram reel. Most of us are singing cheesy and whimsical music. It's gonna be okay. Since that video I made, most people have really taken to the term kaigai versus overseas. But what does that mean? Well, kaigai is just the Japanese word for overseas. It's really just used to refer to people outside of Japan who are performing in this style. Which happens across the world, across Asia. There are Japanese-inspired idol industries in other areas of Asia as well, but it's very clearly that versus something that's like a global pop group or a K-pop group. And there is also blending between all of it. It's a rabbit hole, and that's why you're here, right? I really could stop this video here and let it be short form content, but I like long form content, so that's what we're gonna do. I've gotten some comments over the years about why do we use this term at all? Why can't we just call ourselves singers or just idol? Yeah, maybe, but why do we use labels at all? It's to help communicate what we're trying to accomplish and what we're doing. If in the West, if you say that I'm an idol, people are going to assume like an American Idol. There's already an association with that word. And if you say that you're just a singer, yeah, it gets the point across. But then when they see what you're doing, they're going to be like, there's something else very clearly going on here. What is this? Everybody is free to use whatever words they want. Usually when I'm introducing myself to people, I say that I am a music artist inspired by Japanese idol culture. Or if I'm talking to somebody who kind of knows what's up, I say that I'm an idol inspired by Japanese idol culture. Some people straight up call themselves J-pop idols. Some people call themselves performance idols. Some people don't like the word idol at all. We're working to communicate what we're trying to accomplish with our performances. And what is that? Idols to me have a goal of growing their skills over time with their audience, trying new things, showing that it's okay to not be perfect and still work hard for what you love. Now, as I said, I am based in the United States and mostly interact with the English-speaking community, but there are huge communities in South America, across Europe, across Asia. It's global, and isn't that cool? But the culture has started to develop on its own outside of Japan, despite Japanese idols being sort of the core inspiration. It's to the point where I'm starting to meet people who are fans of kaigai idol like Paida or Berry, but actually don't know any J-pop idols at all. And as a person who's been into Japanese idols for over 15 years now, it's really interesting to watch, and I don't think it's a bad thing. To me, it's how culture exchange works. We draw inspiration from something that we love, and we add our own culture and our own backgrounds into it to make it something uniquely us. Plus, honestly, it makes sense. It's a lot easier to convince somebody to root for something that's in their backyard versus across the globe. Obviously, I encourage everybody to find a ton of J-pop idols to follow because it's just so much fun. But as I said, specifically in North America, it has sort of developed into its own thing as a result of the circumstances and the resources that we have access to here that differ from other parts of the world. Up until, I would even say, the last year or two, we have only been able to perform in this style pretty exclusively at anime conventions, both to the age bracket of the type of people who do this performance, but also the expensive venues and just the lack of idol industry that exists in America. As a result, a lot of US idol culture has grown around anime idols and anikura and anisong. This is where most people get their jump to 3D idols from. Whole videos can be made on those subjects too, but let's focus. So I would break kaigai idols into 3 main categories: original, cosplay, and virtual/2.5D. Within all of these categories are performers who are doing some combination of dancing and singing in whatever language they please, ranging from covers to original music. Because, if you know, you know, idol is not bound by any particular language or music style. It's a performance style. I have a whole video on this. To me, maybe not to you, but to me. Original idols are those who are performing as themselves or a stage persona, not attached to any existing IP. Typically, the goal of an original idol is to create original music and perform it, but often they start as coverists, and they don't have to make original music to be considered an original idol. Cosplay idols are people who perform primarily while cosplaying from series like Love Live, Idolmaster, Oshinoko, etc. Typically, they'll be performing songs from the franchise that they're cosplaying, but not always. I've seen people do Genshin Impact cosplays as a performance, and this is one of the things that the Western world has really taken a hold to and has become really popular, and that community is so cool. It's, again, not specifically what I do, although I just did my first cosplay performance. Virtual/2.5D are performers who primarily, or at least on occasion, perform as some sort of virtual avatar. These performances can vary widely from covers to original music, and also visually could be anything from a flat piece of artwork to full 3D model. These are not strict boundaries that can't be crossed. I know plenty of performers who do multiples of these things, but the goals and the needs of each type of performance are a little bit different, so I think the distinction matters. And those are the basics. Idols are amateur performers who want to grow. And amateur and hobbyists are not bad words. Not to sound incredibly cheesy, but it's beautiful to be a beginner at something, and it's really cool to see something so driven by passion and passion alone. I think that's something that all music artists share in common. But we all want to do our best and express ourselves on stage. If something's not for you, that's okay. Keep going until you find something that is. You can check out places like Idol Home or a variety of regional idol discords if you're looking for a place to start. I'll also link some of my J-pop idol playlists below if you're looking for more Japanese idols to get into. It is mostly just groups that I like, but there's some good stuff in there. As well as the Kaigai idol playlist that has a variety of original music for you to get into. If you want to know my opinions on getting started as an idol, or if you just want to learn more about the idol community, I hope you'll stick around. See you on stage soon, okay? From the stars in the sky, I'm Alex Pinku. Goodbye!